Folks, welcome back to the Barefoot Shoe Expo 2025 presented by Anya's Reviews. We are here with Eric from Splay Shoes, become one of our good buddies in the industry. So we just wanted to sit down, want to have a chat about the kind of the state of the barefoot shoe industry from your perspective. Obviously, we want to ask about Splay specifically, but the first thing we want to ask you is, how's the event going for you? This is the second one you've been to?
This is the third.
The third one that you've been to.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear how it's going, how it compares to past years, and then we'll get into talking about Splay a little bit more.
That sounds great. So yeah, we started last year was Chicago. The year before that was Minneapolis, a much, much smaller event at a community center in Minneapolis. But we've been a big fan of it from the very start. So we wanted to really be a part of it. And it's been great, keeps getting better. I mean, this show, in terms of the number of people, is bigger. In terms of the venue, is 4 times the size of last year, but it's great. I mean, tons of people coming out, and the people that come to this show are some of the most educated barefoot shoe customers on the planet. So it's great to talk to them.
Yeah, that's really cool. You guys being from Utah, us being from Utah, we've started this little conspiracy that the next one needs to be in Utah as well.
Oh yeah,
the Sandy Expo Center.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, we have several places that would be great.
Awesome.
Much shorter drive for us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's get into talking about Splay a little bit, and what I'd love to hear from you, we've talked about this a little bit, but I'd love to hear the story of Splay. You guys are relatively new in the space. I mean, compared to some other brands, you're not as new, but definitely newer than Lems, definitely newer than Zero.
Yep.
So we'd love to hear kind of the origin story of Splay.
Absolutely. So John, the founder of Splay, in about 2018 started Splay as a Kickstarter project. Actually, he was buying barefoot shoes from Europe and all these great places, and buying shoes for his kids, right? And the kids barefoot market at the time almost didn't exist, and what did exist was super expensive and out of European companies. The shipping and the exchanges were a nightmare, and so he wanted to start a kids barefoot shoe company. And he did that through this Kickstarter. Got a little bit of traction, kind of slowly limped along on this first model of shoe for maybe a year or two. And then John and I connected, and we were able to redesign the Explore kids shoe that we still sell today. Kind of became the foundation of the rest of the company and kind of the next generation of Splay. And since then, it's kind of really taken off. All the parents that were buying the Explorers for their kids kept begging us to make adult shoes. And so that's a great next iteration. And since then, now of course, we're growing in both of those areas. So it's been a great adventure, especially these last 4 or 5 years where the growth has really taken off.
Yeah, Splay, so one of the things about the brand for us is it's one of my favorite toe boxes by far.
Thank you.
What have you guys based that off of? Where did you get the inspiration for the shape? We reviewed the original Freestyle on our channel, and it was a very boxy toe box. And then you guys have kind of streamlined it a little bit, coming into styles like the Rev Canvas, just as an example, and the 101. What has been the inspiration that has led the shape of the shoes over time?
That's a great question. I mean, when we started the Freestyle that you mentioned, we were trying to make something as just really true to the market, right? Something that, and especially at the time, the people in the market were very much the enthusiasts of barefoot shoes in the market. And so it was something we wanted to go as wide as we could in the toe. We wanted to go as absolute minimalist under the foot as we could. And we accomplished that with a great shoe. Yeah. Now, since then, we've kind of said the rest of the growth in the barefoot shoe market is really going to be coming from the people who are getting educated today, right? Is so many people, all the people that we meet in here, and they're bringing their families along with them, and they're bringing their kids along with them, and it's saying like, let's build this. Let's turn this into something where the people who are coming in for the first time that need the benefit of a barefoot shoe, their life will be better with the benefit of a barefoot shoe. And we can do that in a way that's not going to alienate them from wanting to do it, right? So not everybody is ready to feel the ground between 4 millimeters of rubber, right? We can do a little bit more than that, and we can still get the benefit. Still keep the toe box, still keep all those things together. And we've been constantly trying to improve. I mean, everything we do as a company, we're figuring this all out every day, and we're far from perfect, and we know we need to get better from where we are today and where we'll be tomorrow, and we're always iterating and we're always trying to improve. But it's really with a focus on how do we bring those people in and make them excited about coming into this space and not feel like it's this, walled garden where it's like, oh no, you really have to be a purist to live here,
No, I think that's important to kind of cater to a broad spectrum of people, because as we've found more and more with our audience and just with our feet in general too, it's like everybody's on a spectrum of where they are as far as their barefoot health goes, right? And it's like, you can't just jump into a Prio and go run a half marathon. It's a bad idea.
You can in a V1, it turns out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. On the V1s.
Find the link here. The link here. Where's the link?
Yeah, there's a link somewhere to where I ran a marathon out of the box in the V1 runner.
That's right.
Or half marathon. Super cool. What would you say you guys do different from everybody else that's in there?
That's a great question, and there's so many great companies in there. But I think what we're trying to do different is, oftentimes we're looking at the barefoot shoe market and we're saying, what shoe is nobody making? And what shoe will nobody make? And part of what we see in the barefoot shoe market, because of its origins, right? It starts with people who are very natural-minded, people who really love the outdoors, people who really kind of very early on, years and years ago, have grasped the natural health movement. And so because of that, what the styles that influence barefoot shoes tend to be very European, tend to be very outdoor focused, tend to be very, I don't know the words. Hopefully these aren't derogatory words, but I think like crunchy granola, you know, that kind of people, right?
Sure.
And I love them. They're my favorite. But there's lots of shoes being made for people that are like that. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, okay, how do we get like your more urban customer that's wearing Vans today, that's wearing Chuck Taylors, that's been growing up in the shoes of that define them? And how do we say, let's make them a home here where they feel at home and they feel good? So I think that's where we do different.
I don't know if you stole this from us, but when we first reviewed you guys, we kept saying that this is a fantastic barefoot alternative to Vans, and it seems like you guys have really grown into that, where it's true. Like Eric went as far as, for one of our reviews, he went to a Vans store, I think you brought your slip-ons, is what it was, the black ones, the black street style slip-ons, and you compared side to side, and like the differences were stark. But it's like, if you are a barefoot shoe enthusiast and you are looking for a more normal, accessible looking shoe that's more like something you would gravitate towards, I think that Splay definitely fills that niche. So the next question that I want to go into that kind of leads off of that is, this is going to be a personal question for you.
Sure.
But of all of the shoes that you guys have been coming out with, what is your personal favorite and why?
That's a great question. My daily wear tends to be either our Rev LT, just a great skate shoe, and just something that goes with anything. You know, you wear it with khakis, you wear it with jeans. It's a very versatile shoe. And then it's either that or the Runner V1. I try to hit the gym a lot. I don't make it every day, but I try to hit the gym a lot. And what I love about the Runner V1 is I can show up if I'm putting in a couple of miles of running that day, or if I'm, doing some lifting, if I'm doing whatever it is I need to be doing, if I'm doing some calisthenics or whatever it is, the Runner V1 can keep up with it. It's flexible enough, it's light enough, but it also has a sturdy enough foundation. So yeah, it's always one of those two, but depending on the day, it could be any of them. And yeah.
I was going to put a plug in for the Runner V1 again. I took it with me on this 4-day trip that I had, and it was the only shoe that I brought besides my work shoe.
Oh, great.
And so it was like out casually, that's what I was wearing. I went on a big run, like 6 miles, I think, and that's what I wore. Like, it kept up in all those situations, and it looks really cool. And so that's one of my favorites too. I love it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're a huge fan of where you guys are currently, where the brand started with that first freestyle that we tried, to where we are with these almost like skate shoes that you guys have been coming out with. It's a super cool evolution to see, and so we'd love to hear, like, what's the roadmap going forward, right? We are here at the skate shoe phase. Are we going to stay here for a while? And if so, what does that look like? Or are we heading in another direction? Are we going somewhere more with the V1 Runner, since you guys came out with a running shoe? Are we heading that direction as well? What does the near future hold for you guys? What could we be excited about?
Oh, we've got so many great things coming. We're just at the beginning of this whole thing. We've started off with a very back to basics runner, something that was a shoe that could have been made 50 years ago, right? And what we're trying to look forward to is, how do we then do the next step and do the next step and do the next step? So we have several things in mind for the running community to say, how do we make a Splay, right? A shoe that's still a Splay, but make it something that's a little bit more technical, something that's a little bit more advanced, something that might be more adept at your half marathoners or even longer, right? Or even a good training shoe, that sort of thing. So we have things in the works there. On the skate side, we've got all sorts of stuff happening. So the skate shoe's been a great success for us, and we really love that market. The beautiful thing about skaters is that skaters love to film each other doing cool stuff. They do the coolest stuff. And what's happened is now that we have these shoes out there, they film all that cool stuff in our shoes and they send us the pictures and they send us the video, and they're just so excited about it. And we're like, this is awesome. Let's make these people more amazing shoes. So we have several things coming in the skate market in the future, and more things also just going back to that really barefoot kind of market. I'm not breaking any news here when I say that the Freestyle 2.0 was a disappointment for some people, right? The Freestyle 1 was exactly what you said. It was very minimalist. It has a super wide toe box. The Freestyle 2, when that came out of production, it wasn't exactly what we'd hoped for with the Freestyle 2. And we're putting there's been 6 months of effort in really perfecting a freestyle that can bring it right back to everybody's expectations, so that real barefoot customer, somebody that really wants that ground feel, somebody that really wants that splay, really wants that flexibility, we're gonna have that back for them so people can get really excited about that. So lots coming.
Yeah, that's super cool. I liked the 2.0.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
fine. But we did start to see comments kind of start to pour in. They were just like, oh, we don't want the extra stack height. We wish it was just as flexible as the first version. So to go back to that, it's awesome.
Cool.
I think everybody's excited about it. So
That's cool.
So we get a lot of comments, or we see a lot of them. People don't usually comment on our videos with it, but they say like, this whole barefoot shoe thing is just a fad. We can't wait till it goes away, till it quiets down, and we can all just wear on normal shoes. Like, what would you say to the naysayers? What would you say to those people?
Oh, wow. I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was. When I first met John, who had started Splay, and he told me about his shoe company, I was kind of like, oh, that's cute. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then he gave me a pair of shoes, and I wore them around for a month, and I was kind of like, this is silly, really. It looks silly. I'm not into it, whatever, And then, so I took those off after maybe a month of wearing them, and I went to put my New Balance back on, and I said, I can never wear those again. It changed everything. And then I started wearing all barefoot shoes, and then I went golfing, and I pulled my old golf shoes out of my golf bag and put them on. I was like, nope, can't wear those either. Like, it just, once your foot does what your foot is naturally designed to do, going back to the artificial is just silly. It doesn't make any sense. And so, if you're waiting for this to be over, you'll be waiting a long time, because this isn't based on it being cool. If it was cool, it would fizzle out. It's not cool. I've met almost everybody in there. We're not the cool kids. Right? But what we are is we're the ones that are just like looking for something better. And when something is naturally better, it's inevitable.
Yeah. It just makes sense, right? It's like your shoes should fit the shape of your foot.
Right?
It's just how that it should work. We always joke like our wives aren't big fans of the shoes in our closet, so like it's funny to say that. Like, we're not the cool kids.
Right.
But
right.
To your point too, like, I can't go play soccer right now because I don't have a shoe that I could put my foot into.
Oh yeah.
That would make that possible. And so hopefully those things keep getting developed, and
we got a lot of fun stuff we're working on, and I hope we got something for you soon. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, we appreciate the time to come out here and chat with us. We consider you guys, I don't know if you guys consider yourselves this, but we consider you guys becoming an industry leader here. I think you guys are doing a lot of things right, and we're excited to see what comes in the future.
Thank you. I love you guys. Anytime I can talk to you guys, just let me know.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. Folks, make sure to stick around for more content from the Barefoot Shoe Expo 2025.